So today we are diving into the open AI economy. Like Vitalik said, like crypto and AI got a lot of overlap, like especially like the things like monetization, cost reduction, and data ownership. So in today's panel, we are going to really zero in on the monetization side. So one of the most natural feature of crypto. So we will talk about how crypto can help build a better AI and how AI in return can boost crypto. So today we have 4 brilliant crypto AI experts joining us. Kartin, co-founder of Aura Protocol, Ben, CEO of Talus, Alice, BD lead from Story Protocol, and Anjali, head of marketing and growth from Theoriq. So without further ado, let's jump into the OpenAI economy panel. First off, would you guys say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself and your project? Maybe we'll start from Kartin.
What's up, everyone? I'm Kartin, the co-founder for Aura Protocol. We are building Ethereum trustless AI. We have 2 major products. The first one is on-chain AI Oracle. We enable decentralized AI inference for Ethereum with OPML. And the second product for us is like IMO, initial model offering. We tokenize AI model to a blockchain, and then like host the AI model as like on-chain AI Oracle, and do the revenue share and the government for the AI model on-chain.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Ben Frigon. I'm building Talus. Our thesis is very simple. AI should be able to buy stuff for you. So we're a special purpose L1 that's enabling AI agents for starting with one specific use case, which is AI that can buy stuff for you. We're very confident in this use case because it's something that is not possible with Web 2 and existing financial rails. So we say all the time at Talus, AI can't have a bank account. It's not going to be able to use ACH or SWIFT or any of that in the existing financial system. It can't use USD. It's going to have to use USDC. So great to be here. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alice. 3 years ago, I joined cryptocurrency space because I saw all of the inefficiencies from the payments realm and what blockchain can unlock. 3 years later, I am leading BD and growth here at Story Protocol. Super excited to be on a panel with fellow founders and leaders here to talk about AI.
Hey everyone, I'm Anjali George. I lead marketing and growth at Theoriq AI. Our focus is on building modular and composable agents. So the idea is that AI agents are going to be the consumption layer across the AI crypto stack. So being able to compose agents that can access deepen competitively, that can use various inference, various models, and build competitive agents that go into a marketplace that can then be composed and compiled into what we call collectives. So the thesis is simple. Just like human beings here today, we all specialize in individual skill sets, and we believe that agents are going to do the same thing, form teams, and then solve increasingly more complex problems. And so we're focused on building those guardrails that allow for agents to be effective, to have quality of responses, to trust those responses, to verify your data. So that's our focus, and we've been kind of focused on building that for the past 2 years.
Thank you all. So we got OPML and IMO by Aura, and the Smart Agent Hub by Talus, and also programmable IP layer by Story Protocol. Sounds really interesting. And also the composable AI agent layer by Theoriq. So it looks like we cover all of the angles, like lenses today about the open AI economy. So let's jump into our first question. Could you explain to our audience what's the AI economy or AI creator economy is, and how it relates to us, like like everyday's GPT usage?
I think like AI gonna change every sector in our life, right? It's not just that, like it's not just in crypto, also like self-driving car, all kind of things, right? So how to have like a really democratic, open AI model that works for us is really critical for the coming future. And so I think like Web3, how we can use Web3 to do that is like by 2 things, right? We have like so many audience here, and like raise your hand if you own ChatGPT, right? You own ChatGPT, what? You have the share for OpenAI, right? Okay, yeah, you are the user, yeah, but like most people are not the owner, like because like pretty much you cannot buy that in the secondary market yet, and so the ownership like is really important for AI model because like when you have AI model working, it must be working for somebody, right? So like making the public become the owner for the AI model is really important. That's why we promote the IMO kind of thing, try to tokenize the AI model on blockchain, and that's like the number one. And then the second thing in the Web3 AI kind of like usage will be like we want to expand like the financial system reliability, the capital efficiency on DeFi. So we can also use AI model to do that by applying the AI model on the DeFi protocol. Like we have so many new assets on blockchain every day, right? But like if you open Compound, there will be only two kind of assets you can do the lending. One is like a USDC, another is ETH. The reason why for like DeFi is so inefficient on the new asset to make it go into the DeFi ecosystem is because like it's based on voting, like human management kind of process. This is like super slow and also cannot use it to react on like the new asset on chain every day. We have like about 10,000 different new assets every day on blockchain. Although most of them are trash, but like some of them, you should respect for their liquidity and how many trading volume. So they should be landable. But like you cannot land it on blockchain in DeFi ecosystem most of the time because like the process is just way too long. So if we have like the AI model to increase the efficiency on blockchain, so we can have way more liquidity on blockchains to do way more stuff. Yeah.
So I'll start with a broad view here of what exactly we mean by AI is going to increase everyone's productivity and make the world a better place. I think AI and crypto together are the two most powerful technologies in the world today. And the advent of AI, and we're very early right now in both technologies, but for AI in particular, I see this as a productivity tool for humanity today in the same way that the advent of petrochemicals was in during the Industrial Revolution in the late 19th century. So if you think about before we figured out electricity, how to use fossil fuels, a lot of your day as a human, no matter what you did, would have been spent collecting firewood, collecting biomass to burn for fuel, right? That was a huge time suck. And of course, we built technology that freed up a lot of people's time, right? Where you didn't have to be doing that. I think of AI and the agentic economy, the potential of AI agents as the same thing for people's relationship with technology as the petrochemicals was for your relationship with energy. So right now, if you're not sitting in front of your computer typing on it, if you don't have your phone in your hand, nothing gets done, right? AI is going to allow us to be a lot more productive through autonomous action, right? You direct AI to do something, and then you can step away, focus on something else, and stuff gets done. Like I said, the use case that we're focused on at Talus is this idea of AI being able to buy stuff, because we think that the only way to accomplish that, especially for consumer use cases, is for AI agents to live on the same data layer as the assets which they transact. And so that's the infrastructure that we're trying to build. So starting with the idea of intents in DeFi, expanding that out to the rest of DeFi, and then there are a lot of other great use cases for agents that can be on-chain as well, but we're really focused on this financial use case. So point of this, AI is going to save people a lot of time, and I'm really excited about where it's going to take humanity, what we're going to be able to do, how creative we're going to be with so much more productivity and so much more time.
I really like everything everyone has said prior to this, especially with productivity. I'm not technical, so I definitely leverage AI to the best extent of my knowledge to help myself do better my day-to-day work. When you refer to like AI economy, I kind of think of it more like the business landscape that's powered by artificial intelligence, and that of course can have a lot of innovations within it. At Story, the angle that we focus on is with those innovations and with the rapid advancement of AI, all of a sudden you have like Hollywood content production studios at the corner of your eye. You can spin up new applications and products with AI. There's even a AI agent that mentioned before that could help you code, right? So all of these are all suddenly creating new abundance of different intellectual properties because as creators, as this AI, they have to have some kind of data feed into it. So usually it's referencing some kind of existing work or data that exists in the world. And those are intellectual properties. And it's very important for Story to kind of set the framework on how can we innovate on acceleration of these innovations. What are the right ways to do it? What are the attributions, provenance, and royalties these original creators and collaborators can get? And even with AI models, we kind of think of it in a sense that if there's no way to kind of have a clear rail and framework for monetization and incentivizing like collaborators to contribute and own their IP, then no one's going to be contributing to these AI models, and it will just be stagnant.
Yeah, I think like everybody here has made some great points, right? So it's undeniable that AI is sort of the defining technology of this century, and like we've already seen this take in effect. It's playing out a role in healthcare. It's playing out a role in manufacturing. You're already seeing AI implemented, AI being effective, AI being highly valuable to businesses. It's a productivity tool. It's a new idea generator. Like all of these things are very, very valid, and I think they're all like absolutely useful. But when you think about the AI creator economy, it's not just about like the people that use AI, but the idea of who creates this AI. And if AI is going to be the defining technology of our generation, just like how you saw the .com boom, there is going to be an agentic boom that's happening, right? People are going to learn how to build agents that are valuable to solve a variety of use cases, whether it's buying things on chain or figuring out the next treatment that could happen based on like deducing vast amounts of data, to being able to like study and make education like actually accessible to people in third world countries, because all of this data is already on chain. Might as well make it accessible to a 5-year-old kid who's living in Indonesia, right? And it's cheaper because you can just pay per transaction. That's important. And like, how do you incentivize people to create those solutions? I think that's what we need to be solving, and that's some things that we're focused on. How do you build frameworks that allow people to create these agents, monetize these agents, make these agents accessible and visible? That's the creator economy that needs to be created and needs to be built. And yes, there's data guardrails, there is IP guardrails. All of these are necessary infrastructure, but like, what does that front end creator experience look like? I think that's a very important problem to solve, and we're very interested in that.
Wow, very detailed explanation. I think you guys already answered my next question, So we'll skip that, jump into the next question. So, from your project perspective, what are the top 3 ways blockchain can help the AI economy? Like, how do this help fix the problems we are seeing?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I have the mic. So I think there's a couple of things, right? There's a trust aspect. So we spoke about this, like data, proving like where this data comes from. Is it actually true? Where are the endpoints that these agents are pointing at? These are very important things that when you're looking at an agent and people are starting to use this, so like verifying that content is very important. The second part is incentivizing people. So whether it's incentivizing use, but more likely than that, like incentivizing building. That's very, very important, because there is an education and skill gap. And so if you want people to shift their attention from building dApps or building like iPhone applications to now building AI solutions, you do need to incentivize them, and blockchain guardrails are the easiest way, because we as a community can immediately say, hey, that's a valuable agent, that's not a valuable agent. Or for us, things like an agent builder has to stake before they launch, so they're incentivized to keep maintaining their agent. But me as a community member, I stake on an agent that's actually valuable. But now if that agent starts misbehaving, I now have the opportunity to slash that agent, and now that incentivizes them to like either perform better, or you intersubjectively fork them out of your network. Like bye, we don't need you anymore, right? So that's another place it's very, very important. I think those are like the two big things. There's also like other components of microtransactions. Like Ben said, it's very, very hard to give your agent a bank account. It's much easier to have microtransactions on chain. Or if there's multiple agents working together, like having transactions between them. So those are big things for us.
Wow, you like took all of the main points, but I guess, when I'm thinking about the question, I'm going to keep it short and simple and kind of elaborate on the three main things you spoke about. The first thing that came to my mind that blockchain kind of unlocks is token. That is something very native to blockchain. And the way I see it from a fundraising angle is like any AI creators or founders can all of a sudden leverage token mechanics and actually fundraise money to build out whatever they want to build, whether it's a front end, back end, application layer, or agent layer. The other side is definitely incentive. Incentive, whether it's airdrop, token, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, AI is powered by humans. It's the people behind that's operating it, contributing data to it, and these people need to have some kind of incentive to get paid to continue doing this work. And then the third point that you mentioned regarding data and how it's verifiable is one of the key things of why we're working in blockchain in this space as well. So I agree with that.
I'm really glad you asked this question, because I think this is something that we all need to re-examine from time to time. As people who are building in this space, we need to ask ourselves, AI is very cool. What's the point of crypto? What's the point of blockchains? Why do these need to be combined? Are these use cases that can be put on chain or can involve blockchains, or are they use cases that really, really need blockchain technology? So I'll start with AI generally and then get to AI agents. AI, you can think about the three basic building blocks of AI as compute, data, and the model you're running, right? So if you look at Web 2, who wins out in all of those categories? Who wins out on compute? Who has all of the money, the capital to subsidize really high capex early on in AI development's life cycle? It's the Web 2 giants. Who has all of the data in Web 2? Obviously, the Web 2 giants that have been accumulating this data for decades now. And in fact, the incentive in early Web 2 was to optimize for search, to leave as much data on the open web as possible. And then for models that are being run, there's a lot of great teams that are building closed source models that are proprietary technology. It's not clear how they're being trained. It's not clear how they're being developed. I personally think that it's a much better outcome for humanity, for the average Joe, if we have an open model economy that's trained on open data. And so value is derived from things like network effects, as opposed to treating AI as a technology guarded as an industry secret. So all of that lends to decentralization, right? This is a technology that we have to incorporate some form of decentralization into the stack to make sure that this is a beneficial product for humanity, that this is something that everyone can use, to make sure that this is accessible to everyone. Compute is so limited in the world right now. There's a lot of great projects that are working, particularly for inferencing, because you can run it with home hardware and in a distributed network. It doesn't need to be parallelized. There are some great Web3 projects trying to solve compute. There are some great data projects that are working on making sure that we can have digital tangibility, digital ownership of our data in this new AI world, right, where data is so incredibly valuable, especially as we're learning that for model performance, the type of data, the types of data that it's being trained on is so incredibly important for the model's performance. And then I think naturally the trend in Web 2 and Web 3 is toward open source models. At least for the foundational models, I just think it makes a lot more sense that foundational models would effectively be a public resource that anyone can build on. So that's just my opinion on it. I hope that the market and the developer community feels the same way. So I think it's incredibly important that we implement AI, or implement decentralization, the principle of decentralization and blockchain technology into AI in those three core components of AI. For agents specifically, like I said, I try to be really razor focused on what's a use case that absolutely 100% needs to be on chain, needs blockchains. To me, that's agents being able to buy stuff for you, because there's no financial infrastructure that exists today that can support agents on interacting with each other and transferring value. For that to happen, you need agents living on a common data layer where they can be composable with the assets which they transact. And this is really what blockchain solves, right? Blockchain is a universal ledger. You can see who owns what very quickly. And so I think that that's a technology that's optimized for AI for that particular use case.
Yeah. Freedom. That's why we need blockchain. That's why we need decentralization, right? Same for the freedom for AI. So earlier, like this lady mentioned that we gotta use AI for medical care and medical advice. But if you ask ChatGPT about that, you know what they will get you? They will get you is a bot. You cannot provide medical advice to you. So it's constrained. It's limited. No freedom. It's like control of the speech of the freedom of speech, right? So with Web3 AI, the decentralization can bring us freedom. Really simple. If you have a phone or have a laptop, if you open like a website called chatolm.com, then you can ask anything and everything there. And that the reason why it's possible now is because like 2 months ago we did an IMO for AI model called Open Language Model. So once we did IMO with that, like there's a multiple team that actually bought the token and build the product along with the base model. And also train the base model from the base model to the chatbot model. So that we'll be able to have this like completely 100% free AI chatbot on chain. So I think like what blockchain bring us, what's the value for blockchain for such a long time, what Bitcoin have brought us is the freedom. It's nothing else, it's just the freedom. So you can choose not be a slave of a fiat system, a fiat matrix. You can choose not to be a slave of the open AI. So that is like the value for blockchain, I think.
Yeah, by the way, MagnetAI also integrate with OpenAI base model, so you can like be totally free to access through the MagnetAI's interface. All right, I bet like all of us are super curious about when you guys plan to launch the token. I'm kidding, so we can't wait to buy it. But seriously, like we know all the crypto project got token, so does crypto AI project. So especially related to our today's topic, open AI economy. So what do you guys think the token play, like the role of the token play? Do you think the token is necessary for your project? Maybe we'll start from Kartin.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Token is the product, okay? Okay, joking. So like to run a decentralized inference, you need some sort of a security assumption, a security guarantee, right? Especially for OPML, when like somebody is being malicious, that guy needs to be slashed. So like that's why the purpose for Aura token will be like, okay, if you want to run a decentralized inference node, then yes, stake the Aura token on whatever devices. It can be a phone. According to the new technology that ESO lab was working on, like you can assemble 2 iPhone to become a GPU, pretty much. So that like you can just spot an ORA token in the future that will be launched, and assemble your phone to be a GPU and mine the coin or whatever to provide the decentralized inference services on blockchain. And that's like the number one thing. The second thing for Aura token will be the IMO allocation. And it's like really easy way. Or we want be one of the dimensions, the factor or information for the input.
Yeah. Again, this is a great question and something that I was alluding to earlier about. I think a lot of people are coming around to in this industry that some of the projects that are being built and getting a lot of attention maybe don't need to be on chain. They can be accomplished just as well in Web 2. Agents could possibly be in that category. We're seeing a lot of, I mean, Devin is an agent, Harvey's an agent. A lot of people are developing Web 2 agents. This ChatGPT partnership with Apple, I think, is pretty clearly going to lead to, or they're going to attempt to verticalize the agent stack and open up iOS APIs to agentic workflows. So, yeah, I think I'm really just focused on creating a product that people want to use. And so the token for us, we're special purpose L1 because we felt that that gave us the best options for customizing our stack for this AI use case, AI agent use case. So, at the very least, it'll be a Sybil resistance mechanism. I don't think too much about, all of the craziness in crypto that goes around that kind of stuff. So really, all I care about, if we have one North Star at Talus, if there's one thing that I'm hyper-focused on, it's just creating a great UX, creating great DevX for the developers in our community, and then creating a consumer product that anyone can use and that people want to use, not because they're farming a token, but because it makes their lives easier.
I love your statement. At Story, we focus more on the collaborator and creator side. What we really focus on is with the advancement and the rapid pace at which AI products are being built, AI agents are being built, how can we provide framework to protect these creators that have dedicated like maybe years, whole life or years of their life contributing to this art? Because to them, it's not just another data point, it's like their entire life. Whether it's music, which just gets wrapped into like music platform like Suno AI with UBO, or creator art that gets wrapped into AI generated content and videos and movies. And talking about token and your point of like, is token necessary? Token definitely help align incentivization between like the collaborators to whatever we're building, or whatever like everyone else is building as well. And going back to like my honest take, my personal take of like one of the biggest things that blockchain do unlock is token. You can fundraise a lot of money with token, and that is something like it's there, it's true. I, as previous founders before, like a lot of things I've built also revolve around token, but also not just like, hey, I'm gonna go on blockchain, launch a product, build an AI app, have a token to it, and just care about pumping it. It's more so like, what does the token, how can it be sustainable in the long term? And that way it has clear alignment between what your company is building, the goals that you're providing. And like, if there's a way for creators to monetize without having to use like the Web2 rails, because for example, like Spotify, they take over 50%, 40 to 50% fees. And if you're talking about IP licensing, whether it's film or the art itself, or if you're like an artist that's selling your art at a gallery auction, they take more than 50% or even more in some cases. And with, not with token, but like with a blockchain native way for them to earn some kind of royalties, monetization, some kind of framework that clearly states, hey, if you're gonna use my work to train your AI data, this is how much I wanna get paid and get credited to for my work. So in a sense, yes, I do agree that's important, but with clear intention and clear alignment of like goals and reasoning.
Yeah, I mean, great points all over. So it's simple, right? Like blockchain, we've all come to sort of equate crypto with token. And it's, like Alice said, like a way to align incentives. And it's very, very important because as you build an ecosystem, you need a way that creators, users, and the network are all sort of linked. And it's usually through the token incentive and your token model that you're doing it. So for our case, like a developer has to stake a token, stake our native token to launch. Users then stake to have user access to these agents. And we, as the ecosystem, give out rewards for usage in native token. And so it's sort of this flywheel effect. And then when you think about agents that are collaborating with each other, if there's multiple forms of payments and multiple different tokens, it just makes things very, very complicated. It's much easier to have one single native token, and you can have like royalties for X amount of time, regardless of how this agent is getting used based on usage, like in perpetuity, right? And if you build out a framework and you put this and make it accessible in the marketplace, that then becomes something that you can monetize, and you're constantly earning a cut from it. So your IP will always earn something for you, which right now, if you build a GPT on the GPT store and OpenAI actually believes it's valuable, it will claim it, build its own version, and prioritize its GPT over yours. You cannot discover a regular GPT on the GPT store unless you know exactly the GPT that you're looking for. So all of this sort of takes away from the creators and from the developers. You launch something on Hugging Face. It's an extractive platform, right? So now think about a way that a developer can continue to earn, and you need a token incentive and you need a token model for it. Could it be done with stable coins? Yes, technically, but then you lose that like ecosystem effect that you're trying to build. And that's often really helpful, and it's really like a fundraising goal as well. Like, how does your foundation continue to give out grants? How does your foundation continue to incentivize building? And then there's governance aspects as well, because like our goal is to fully decentralize, to make this community owned, and that ownership aspect comes from the token model, because now I own a part of this project, I own a part of these agents, I want them to perform well. And that like inbuilt innate nature of human beings, I think that's what the token model really like incentivizes.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I think the last question to wrap things up. So after hearing about all the thesis and the visions, I think the last question should be like super practical, right? Like it's about how we can get involved with the new AI economy, open AI economy. So could you please describe, based on your project, how we can participate? And of course, like aside from the buying your own token, we all know how to do it. So maybe more like practically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few ways, right? So you've got very experienced developers trying to build like very sophisticated AI solutions. Now it's one end of the spectrum. So you can build those, launch those, mint your ownership of them, and then monetize and let them be on the marketplace, drive demand to it. If you're a kind of non-technical user, a drag and drop, easy to build, no code solution is something that we're working on, and that's gonna come out with our testnet really soon. So like, prompt your agent and create out of a framework, create your own collectives, figure out trading strategies, monetize them, put them into the marketplace, compete, right? And then just as a regular user, I think for us it's very important, like user feedback, because like everybody else has mentioned here before, we're so early in this process that we all need to know like what is an actual valuable use case? Is it buying things on chain? Is it figuring out education? Is it like, what is the problem that needs to be solved? And we're working on that as well to try and get people to sort of input what needs to get built, so then we can actually focus developers on doing that. So that's another way for people to get involved. So prompting these agents, interacting with them, giving them feedback, that's all different ways.